Hey guys, so for this function, let's find a domain and a range. So for the domain, you can begin by marking the following. Notice that at x equals -7, y has the value 1. So this graph is defined. There's a y coordinate. And it's like that for every value of x from -7 to 0. I should throw this in here. So this is x equals 0 right here. So remember what that means specifically. Like if -6 goes in, so -2 comes out, correct? If -4 goes in, -2 comes out. If -5 goes in, -3 comes out. So for each x that you choose from -7 to 0, there's a corresponding value of y. When -2 goes in, 1 comes out. When -1 goes in, 1 comes out. That's okay. The x coordinates are different. This is different. This is a function. It passes the vertical line test. Let's continue. The interesting spot probably is this one right here. So let's just draw a vertical line through here. Now think about this. When x has the value 0, then we have the point, or rather the value y equals 1. Not -6, because at -6, as you can see, the y coordinate is not included. So this is y equals -6, like that. So at x equals 0, there's a value of y equals 1. That means x equals 0 is part of the domain. So that means essentially then you can get past it and then you just continue on the other side. Again, 1 is part of it because when 1 goes in, some value of y comes out. Anything between 1, any number, there are infinitely many of them, all the way until 5 is part of the domain. When 3 goes in, some y comes out. When 2.5 goes in, some y comes out, like -5, for example. Now at the end point, here you do have to have a hole. The reason is, when 5 goes in, -4 does not come out because the function is not defined as a whole. There's no y coordinate. All right. So that you can write the domain in interval notation as follows. You can put essentially a bracket. You can put the starting value -7, comma, and the stopping value, and terminate with a matching parentheses, like this. And so this is the domain, like that, from -7 to 5, for the reasons explained. Now let's look at the range for the same function. So here again, it's a bit trickier, maybe this time. So let's look at this lower piece first. So remember, this is y equals -6, right? Because there's a hole that is not included, okay? And then any other value of y from -6 to -4, so any y would be the y coordinate here where I'm pointing. It's solid. There's always a y coordinate until you reach -4 along the y-axis now. You would say y here equals -4. That is not included. So if you wanted to, you could trace over this part of the range by using a vertical line that looks like this. But at -4, you'd have to have a hole that corresponds to the hole in this location right there. Okay, just look over to the y-axis, straight over this way, perpendicular to it. Just look over. Okay, any other y coordinate here is included. So for this part of the range, you can say it looks like -6, comma, -4. All right. Then we go on to the next piece of the graph. So how does that work? Well, again, when x has the value -5, y has the value -3. The function is defined at -5, at this low point. So if you like, you look over here. Look at -3 along the y-axis. That's where you have to look. And because the graph itself is solid, that means there's a y coordinate at x equals -5. What you can do is kind of indicate, if you like, by drawing a circle like this. Okay, and just filling that circle. And then you continue. So look, see how the graph is solid here? It's always solid. It doesn't matter what is on this branch or this part of it's always solid. So you draw a solid line going up to 1. Some people say, what happens here because there are two pieces to the graph? That's okay. Look, think of it this way. How can we think of it? Draw a horizontal line. You see, it's the same y coordinate at this point, okay, and it's the same y coordinate at that point. So that means it's right here. It doesn't matter that this has two branches, right? Same y coordinate here, same y coordinate here, and that goes over to the y-axis as whatever y coordinate that is, only once, right here, only one time. I feel like that's a way to think about it. So for this part, you would say that the range for that part is -3 is included. So you're going to put bracket -3, comma, you're going to put 1, and then you're going to terminate with a matching bracket. So this refers to this part right here. -3, so bracket, and then 1 with the bracket because it's included, like that. Okay, so that part is done. So now you just have to put this together because there are two pieces here. So the total, we'll say this, the total range is, so you're going to put -6, comma, -4, and then you're going to union this with bracket -3, comma, 1, closing bracket. So you need to have both pieces in the range here, for the reason explained, the lower piece and the higher piece. Leave a like if it's helpful.